That's all that
Yes.
matters.
Yeah, sorry for holding you guys up.
Nah, like I said, I could do with a shorter session just due to the fact that we're getting towards the end and wasn't really sure what to do. But
Don't worry, we'll drag this out for at least 5 more.
come on, we're on
What was
session
an idea to
19.
make it? What was an idea where Isling does end up as the prime minister?
Well,
if Isling ends up as the prime minister, you can hire Sahir as your personal chef.
I want to throw the potential.
We can just come to his restaurant, I guess.
I end up with free food.
no domestic in this. No domestic in this session. But last.
At least it's sushi. And a pillow.
Last week, people went searching for what happened. Joan found the quartermaster quarters, all 4 of them, and found more information than she was looking for. But eventually found a user manual on how to fly the ship.
Which thankfully Shufen was able to understand.
Isleen found an artificer's notes on how to make a particular set of armor. And Sahir stopped the ship from burning down because someone left the stove on.
And so we ended up with food.
Everyday heroes.
Food that Isling was not able to eat due to the amount of spice.
You all found Tong Shu Fen at the helm of the ship, where you took a look at the how the ship was run. And she gave a brief demonstration of how easy it is to turn this thing off and on while he's still in the air.
As you do, apparently, if you're Shufen.
Isleen at one point basically had her or head on the helm like someone that is in a car, like with their head resting on the horn of their car.
The horn, just the steering wheel. It doesn't have to be the horn. That would be too loud. So it's just like
Your head may not be resting on the external steering wheel, but it is internally.
And
the horn is not blaring for everyone to see. It's just blaring inside your head.
Shu Fen got a sending from her sister, basically saying that her son went missing. And when informed that you guys had stolen the Steel Swan, she was like, okay. And
did not care.
Well, as it turns out, Shu Fen did end up finding her nephew in the storage area of the ship. Whereupon, with a brief interrogation, you learned that he had got away through a distraction caused by Uncle Tooth.
He escaped Aunt Rada because Uncle Tooth made a distraction.
Actually, this isn't the first time this has happened.
He's making a distraction for somebody to get away from Rada?
Yep.
And that's basically ended. That more or less ended the session the same way that Potter Puppet Pals Wizard Swears did. with tongs swearing up a storm.
And Isling remembering that we have sending stones.
Yes. Good. That's how you were informed. That, she can't exactly teleport to a moving ship, so you are on your way to the atoll.
While babysitting her son.
Basically.
We are not only going off to investigate the mysterious atoll, we are babysitting Tom's son.
Oh,
Anybody on the
Okay.
ship actually qualified to be a babysitter?
Oh, yes, and he has a bunch of terrible influences in the form of a bunch of robes.
I
Yeah.
mean, technically the doctor is a parent. The physician is a parent, so you know.
So,
I don't know if that makes sense.
I was like, you have experience with being a parent. Is it sad that Isling is the most responsible one out of this party?
That's why you're going to be the next prime minister.
No!
and this week,
This week, Isling is put in charge of Tom's son. This is what gets me elected prime minister, isn't it? Taking care of her kid.
It's a group effort.
Then you can be the prime minister, Joan.
So
You're the prime
all of you except the physician are currently in the storage bay, whereas when we left the physician, he was in the engine room.
Wait, say that again?
You are all in the storage bay, or hall, wherever everything's kept, except the physician who is currently in the engine room.
Probably looking at the engine.
Sorry, what?
The physician is still in the engine room while the rest of us are in the storage bay. I had made a quip about the fact that the physician is probably still examining the engine.
That's probably fair. I suppose it would depend on whether he also heard the commotion of you guys finding this kid. Is it a kid? An adult?
Yeah,
Child?
is a child.
Huh.
About 5 or 6, right?
Has the physical appearance and the mentality of a 5 or 6-year-old.
5 or 6-year-old fox kid, basically.
Gotcha. Let's see if I heard anything, or if I'm totally clueless.
At least you know the child will be well fed.
Very true.
There's my.
I bet you Sahir can make sushi. Do we have the ingredients for sushi on the ship?
You want to feed sushi to a 5-year-old?
I was thinking kind of about the fox spirit piece, although they're not cats, they're foxes. Never mind. Also, I was thinking about the influence and was like more Asian food style, and I was like, here does want to learn some of that. So he may have already started learning. He learned the language to do so.
Keep in mind that this kid is half Japanese, half Chinese.
Well, that helps my case because I don't think I learned fantasy Chinese. I think I learned fantasy Japanese.
I got a 2 on my 22 on my perception. I can speak.
Oh yeah, you definitely heard a person shout like, "What are you doing here?"
Well, I'm gonna keep thinking about this engine room and how it really doesn't make sense that it's here, and go find out what's going on.
That's it. you will arrive right as through these things, so you hear Tong's voice spouting out a bunch of curse words before the call ends.
Ask what's going on. Is that a child?
Yep.
Yoshiro, this is Tong's son.
I know I've said that I've done some kidnapping, but I didn't sign up for this.
Be honest, he kidnapped us. He's the one who pushed the button to start the ship, I think.
And in that case, if he's kidnapping us, I'm okay with it.
That needs to get quoted.
Lane just like looks up at the ceilings, like, no. Okay.
I offer
Yes.
the physician a bowl of curry.
That is spicy.
Is tiefling curry.
Hence, Isling could not handle more than half a bite.
As it turns out, it's not a kidnapping, but a kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than a kid napping.
I didn't think you were a parent, Joe, and where did the dad joke come from?
Unfortunately, I lived with both my father and uncles, so you couldn't really get away from them.
Excellent point. So, so we're going to the atoll. Who's going to fly the ship? Or who's going to be the one steering? Because I cannot do that.
Let's see. Do I know how to fly
I
this
thought
ship?
Mom was going to do it because she knows how ships work.
Wait a minute. Shufen was supposed to be the one. Who are you talking as, Arthur?
Avery.
Okay.
It's best if we do it in shifts.
Suppose we get there faster that way. Although our expert seems to be Tong Shufen.
What would you roll to see if you know how to fly a ship like this?
I would say your choice between intelligence or wisdom.
Did you read the manual or did you just intuit it?
I imagine every ship is easier to fly than the TARDIS.
I'm going to go with wisdom, and he probably thinks he can because that was a 10. He can fly the TARDIS, but
He has been criticized for flying it poorly before.
yes, you can do it.
With the brakes still on.
No judge.
Yeah, the physician thinks he knows how to fly this thing. No, I would argue that Isley knows how to, and Sahir know how to fly a ship better, since they read the manual.
Yeah, everyone but the physician has read the manual.
I read the manual?
You didn't read the manual. Joan did. Joan and I did.
The physician didn't even read the manual to his own ship. He threw it in a black hole. Because he disagreed with it.
Shu Fen will put her hand to her chin and begin thinking. Well, my best guess is that this ship has a normal crew capacity of 20 people, and there are...
Not 20 people.
There are
7?
7 of us if we count Yoshiro.
Technically, my ship requires at least 10 people to fly it, but I do it just fine on my own.
8 if we count my familiar.
Well, if we're counting familiars, you gotta count Ra and Abdul as well.
Who?
My servant and the spirit. The spirit's kind of fickle, though.
You were helping him earlier with the food, I think.
Forgot she had that high of modifier for Arcana. So, you talking about unseen servant?
Okay, Abdul is definitely an unseen servant, yes.
Doesn't that only last for an hour?
Yep.
Yes.
But we didn't
That
do
counts as
this.
1/24 of a person, right?
No.
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 So if I remember correctly, that only it is as useful as a normal servant would be. Which may not be very helpful in running this ship.
I'm just saying, if we're counting children and familiars, there's lots of other partially human-esque features we can count.
To count. I was gonna say my Lady Tarpus. Is her name Clara now? Or no? Sarah Jane, I think is what you called her, right, physician? Our resident bunny.
Yes.
I mean, we could count Sarah Jane. That would be rather interesting to watch, to be perfectly honest. Sorry, I just have this cartoon image in my head of this bunny like hanging onto the helm of a ship.
Yeah, at the most comical and then like at the most dramatic, like the what is it, like the
We're going into a whirlpool or something, like a hurricane, and the bunny's like hanging off the side. Because Megan would do that.
or like at the most dramatic, like like the bunny's just floating there in front of the controls and like the light is spewing out of it from like the when it's like console is ripped open and it's just like controlling everything at once. Crew of 20 and we have 6 people who could reasonably do things. This is very bad.
Hey, Captain Jack and Will were able to take care of a ship on their own for a while. I made it all the way to Tortuga.
Oh, that is true. Like, if you're gonna stand at the wheel, you really need to make sure it stays in one direction. So you can't just stand there and hold it.
Uh-huh.
I did save the name somewhere. Alright. As you are all talking, you will hear a thud come from the top deck.
Oh,
We were
this is
off.
gonna go well.
So we're in the storage bay because that's where we found Yoshiro.
Joan
Here's
goes
where
up
we
to
go
check.
out.
You know what?
I'm gonna sneak up there.
Alright, roll stealth. They roll stealth to here since you said you're sneaking up there.
18.
You know what? The other half of the Rookbos will also sneak.
Party just continuously losing track of the road bros on the ship. Surely nothing bad will come of this.
Don't up there with you, but granted, you're sneaking.
That is the wrong character. Very similarly named, but that is Azri, not Avery. There's Avery. Amazing what one letter difference will make. Alright, Avery. Okay, that's pretty good. Do you have reliable talent, or are you not at that level yet? He's not at that point yet. So, Avery got a 14. The other rogue on the ship is not going to sneak up. She is in fact going to take Yoshiro by the hand and walk up.
I will go with them.
Right. Then, when you get to the top deck, for those of you that were there that session, you will see you'll see cohort standing up and a purple dragon like changing their shape into well, the if you go into the role play for this campaign and scroll to the top, the first image, basically. Which Sahir, or no, not Sahir. Joan, you saw this person outside the Tarpus after the dragon fight fiasco.
The dragon that was missing. It's the dragon page that was missing.
The squire that was missing.
Do they seem to be
Squire.
Do they seem to be threatening cohort, or is this a friendly delivery?
Roll insight.
Insight too, keys.
But I
21. That's the only thing. I've got that higher than my stealth though, so.
Okay, so Sahir got 21.
Can I be
Anyone else?
can I be
Yes.
together of who that would be? Like, I'm willing to roll and stuff. I just don't know. Would that be an insight or be able to tell that it's
or to tell who this person is?
well, be able to put the pieces together that this is the missing dragon squire.
I think that would be investigation.
Okay.
Joan, did you roll insight?
Yep.
Wait. This is. So you're probably looking mostly at cohort, and he's a robot. They have no expressions.
Yeah. Just like, I cannot divine what the heck is going on.
On investigation.
Hmm?
I got a 15 on investigation.
Alright, so considering that you saw this person transform from a dragon to a humanoid, like looks like a tiefling, teenager, and the fact that they are still wearing armor, you think you have a good idea that this is probably the squire that was missing. So here with your 21, yeah, you get the feeling that this is a quote-unquote friendly delivery. Cohort, as it is standing up, doesn't appear to even acknowledge the dragon's existence. More so like, look this way, look that way, sees you, kind of thing.
With you.
Yeah, who's the you? Because here's sneaking.
Sees you as a collective group, excluding the people that were sneaky.
Okay.
We're all coming up the same staircase, so probably doesn't matter. As Joan left first, just look at them and say, "Welcome aboard. What brings you here?"
This dragon insisted that they foresaw you needing assistance on a ship in the air.
That's interestingly specific.
Claimed they read it in the stars. However, that
The here will suddenly appear behind Isolene. I've read this one up and down. I think they're trustworthy.
Isolene will just give a little bit of a start. It's like, will you stop talking about what existed?
So to finish off what it was saying, that does not make logical sense. However, it was very insistent on bringing this platform with.
Do I remember the name that was given for the missing page? The missing squire?
That'll be a history check. DC 10.
Say it again?
You gotta beat a 10.
That is
I
a
have 3 new
22.
applicants.
That is a 22. I think I beat a 10. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, you clearly remember the name.
Because it's the name right above the picture, right?
Yeah. Yep. So that would be like Squire.
Cheers, Veerside.
Veerside.
Squire Veerside.
Yep.
Squire Veerside, thank you for bringing us our companion.
Oh, I see. I don't need to introduce myself then. You are welcome. Now, I foresaw you needing assistance, but I didn't see what assistance was needed.
Well, currently we're on a ship that is normally crewed by 20 people, and we do not have 20 people.
The ship is now a little over third man instead of under third man, so that is progress.
Question. Can I just, like, attempt to start flying the ship while everybody's just continually talking about it?
Yes.
That would be a very physician thing to do.
It would.
I'm going to resist the urge to tell the physician that they should push the button.
Don't push the button.
Push the button.
I mean, the physician wasn't there for the demonstration of how the ship runs, so.
Nope. He's got this.
Alright, so, physician. You get up to where the helm normally is, and there's a normal helm, but there's also, like, I want to say dial, or it's not a dial, it's also not necessarily a lever. But you got one either side, and then you got a panel in front of the helm.
Okay.
With a bunch of dials and two things on the side with liquid in them.
Okay. Sorry, my brain. Is there anything in the liquid? Is there a bubble in the liquid?
No, and they are very thin tubes.
So not a compass.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna dig around in my brain box and see if it looks familiar to anything else I may have seen.
Alright. That would be history.
Excellent. That's a nat 19, so let's see what I'll add to it. 26.
Alright, so the tube with the liquid on the left-hand side looks like a thermometer.
Ah, yes, that is important when you are in the air.
The other one, pardon me if I'm getting this or misremembering this. I think it's a barometer. Pressure.
For pressure? Yep.
That is a barometer.
That is also important. Okay. What is our temperature and our pressure sitting at? Gotta keep it safe. Bet you were expecting these questions.
No, but I'm also thinking, like, would you understand their unit system?
In the other world? Or just, like, from
whatever world,
anything.
Whatever units this world uses.
I get the impression they usually do. Huh?
Actually, that shouldn't matter to the physician. Because assuming physics is all the same and they're using mercury, the only thing that's different is the length of the tubes, which you can account for as a simple conversion factor. The displacement of pressures, especially if they built it at sea level, the barometer would actually measure very similarly to within a very small range of human survival stuff, so it wouldn't have to matter too much. Yes, I'm pedantic about this.
He might not know the exact unit, but he knows good enough.
Enough. No one's dying.
You can estimate within like eardrums popping a little bit. Yeah, when the altitude changes too quickly.
It might be 2,000, 6,000, or 10,000 feet. But in any case, it'll be okay.
Like 500 feet. You can estimate there.
My phone is being slow as I look up what the pressure and temperature this would be.
Temperature's probably around 50 odd degrees, depending on how much wind there is.
Well, I can tell you that the atmospheric pressure is probably less than 1.
Honestly, we're not. I don't think this vessel is designed to really worry about that too much, I would imagine.
Right? If
We're
they're
not
gonna let you
clearly.
just hang around on the deck, you can only go so high.
Ah, yes,
not gonna try to take
500,000 feet in the air. Let's go.
I'm pretty
You're
sure
in the
that's called space.
stratosphere?
Yeah, that's space.
Uh,
It's essentially space.
okay. Oh, no, that's way too high. You are not that high up.
Did you put it anywhere above 200 feet?
Anywhere above 200? Yes.
Hmm. Yes.
um,
No wonder you were surprised.
yeah. I will say that you are at a temperature and pressure that you would expect for about 7,000 feet above sea level in the tropics.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Balmy.
A little cool. Maybe a bit warm. I don't live in the tropics.
Elevation's pretty good at cooling things down.
Okay. So we got those things. What about the panel?
Alright, so I think I described it as having three um, three gauges, and with the largest one going from 1 to 10, or 0 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then two. Well, that's the largest one. The two smaller ones are like kind of above it, and they also have a smaller thing right next to it. Little device.
Okay. So when the kid, supposedly the kid, we're not entirely sure, pushed whatever button they pushed, did it just send us up, or are we moving forward?
Well, I think you left the ship motionless, if I remember correctly. So,
You left off motionless. Yeah.
Yes, we left it motionless because that is the only thing that made Iseline take her hands off the helm.
alright. Just make me a straight intelligence check to see what.
Yeah. 13.
Alright. So you don't think that the button caused you to go up? But perhaps it was like a button that starts a car, like those electric cars these days.
Gotcha. All right. So we got some things that look leverish but aren't necessarily levers.
Yeah, I'm having a difficult time to describe it. Like, they both look like they can be pulled backwards and pulled forwards.
Like a boat throttle?
I feel like
Kind
Or
of.
more like a joystick.
Or more like a what?
A joystick.
Actually, no, throttle is the most accurate word that I'm looking for right now.
Okay. Well, a throttle usually means forward motion. Let's try it out. On a forward.
let's see, have you seen some of the zany ways that the physician pilots the TARDIS?
All right.
He
Check
has
that
it.
out.
Remember, he's not a Whovian.
So, first off, which one are you doing, and how far?
I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna go with the right one.
All right.
All the way. Just plump.
All right. Can I have everyone make dexterity saving throws or acrobatics checks?
Sure.
Sorry,
Let's
guys.
see if this
Oh.
dice will roll above a 5.
Okay, Avery.
I didn't. I got a 10.
Avery did amazing.
Saving throw for Dex, I got a 12.
I'll say you can use dexterity saving throw or acrobatics for this.
Acrobatics doesn't make it any better.
At 15.
Well,
that was 14. Alright, so for the NPCs that I have character sheets for, Avery got 30, Shufen got a 33, and Cohort got a 14.
what about Yoshiro?
Yoshiro doesn't have a character sheet.
Yoshiro
Auto
probably
succeed.
doesn't have anything better than commoner stacked.
Yeah, he's not going to make a check because as soon as she feels motion, Shufen's going to grab onto him.
That makes much more sense.
And
Yeah,
as
I
Joan
rolled
is in
my-
the middle of asking, did the stars reveal anything else to? And on with an 11 on the save.
Yeah, so if you got under 15, you get knocked prone as the ship suddenly lurches forward. It's going. It's max speed.
You're definitely
It
gonna hear a
accelerates like an electric, apparently, too.
You also
0 to 12 miles per hour in 0 seconds.
So Joan begins asking a question, and then you hear the engines like rev up as suddenly the ship lurches forward. So who got knocked down?
Sure.
The one that I have
Oh, you
rolled
know.
a 5, which is what my saving throw modifier is.
Rolled an 11, but my modifier is only a +1, so 12.
I'll say that
What about else was? What about Squire Veerseth?
Versailles just barely stays, so she's unsteady, but she's still standing. And I take it the physician got above 15.
I got a 15, so it's like I'm used to this motion, so I still move, but like
Yep.
I got this. It's just like home.
So, Shu Fenley is holding
Yoshiro.
Yoshiro, and Avery's like begins like looking towards the helm. We should have kept an eye on him.
What will he say about you?
Oh, you can try.
No.
How did he sneak past you?
It's not that he snuck by me, it's just that I didn't think it was important. Alright, and physician, you can see on the panel in front of you the big dial or gone from 0 to 10.
Excellent. We'll be there in no time.
Stand up and it's all good.
Versailles will get Joan and cohort.
Thank you very much. Physician, don't play with that other lever.
Well, that other lever is probably the brake.
No, it's not.
How much curry was there? Was there enough to feed the crew that should be running this ship?
Yes. But you probably only brought out enough to feed everyone.
Yes.
That is here.
You're gonna be worried about the kitchen.
How much of a mess do you think the kitchen is right now?
Yeah, asking that in character.
Something along the lines of I have a fear that there's a lot of curry on the floor in the galley now. Anyone else?
Have you decided to go check yet? Because if not, then you're gonna have to cook more
Considering how
and
spicy
clean
that
it up.
is, I can understand being nervous about it.
You're telling me I have to cook and I have to clean around here?
Don't you have Abdul and Ra for that?
I mean, I can, but
I would help you if I had prestidigitation, but I don't.
the prestidigitation clean up pounds of rice and curry.
It cleans up 1 square foot at a time.
So eventually, yes.
I can't do that spell.
Man, no one's gonna help me bake the bread around here, I guess. All right.
Wait, is there bread?
Different character, Mary.
Same time, Italy couldn't eat the curry. She like food would be nice. So yes, I'm channeling my inner Brina through Italy.
Of course you want to help me eat the bread, but you don't want to help me bake the bread. I'm going to go check out the galley.
Stuff was.
When
I may be
Joan,
accusing the party of being
when Sahir is gone to the galley, Avery will lean over towards Joan and just be like, I mean, I could make it look like a spot is clean, but that would be an illusion. I'm playing a game right now. Shoo.
Yeah, I don't think that would go over very well long term.
No.
What would go over well long term? What?
Hiding our messes behind illusions.
Sweeping them under an illusionary
The truth
rug.
comes out eventually.
Sorry, the concept
Yes.
sorry, this is out of character, but the concept of sweeping
Your beard is.
messes and mistakes under the rug. And then eventually, like, you just have this big, huge, lumpy rug.
So that's
Yeah, but it's under the rug.
Yeah, and the rug has now become sentient. And it's not that happy, magical flying carpet from Aladdin either. It's like, you have given me all of this crap.
Zombie rug.
The zombie rug, yes. Attack of the zombie rug. There's a B-rated movie if you ever thought of one. Attack of the zombie rug.
It smells just as putrescent.
Alright. Shufan will go up to where the physician is. You're having fun over here.
Ion, you're all acting like this would be difficult.
Have you figured out what the rest of it does?
Well, I know that this is a thermometer and that's a barometer. I think I have all the important information I need right now.
Okay. Do you know what direction we have to go in?
I don't know.
The way we're pointing, obviously.
Well, I rolled a 7. That's very annoying. I don't know what I'm adding. Probably wisdom, I assume. So, at 12.
So,
It definitely sounds the way we're pointing, obvious.
Shufan will give you sure before going out to the edge of the deck, looking over, and then pointing like to the bow and starboard side. Is that the left side?
Port side is left.
Port.
Port is left.
So, like pointing between the bow and the port side. That is the direction we need to go.
That is the direction we need to go. I don't see a steering wheel, so I'm gonna look at
Ignores
this.
the big steering wheel in front of them.
Is there a big steering wheel?
Yeah,
There's definitely a big steering wheel that Isaline had been holding on to at some point.
Like an actual ship.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
missed that. Like, I didn't hear that. Okay. I will go turn then.
Grab, spin.
Whee!
Throw more curry on the floor.
Do I have to make another deck save?
That depends on how hard the physician steers the helm.
I'm in an old body right now. Turning a big old wheel is I'm not gonna be doing full strength on that.
Alright.
To hurt me.
Okay, so it's a slow turn.
Yes. I want to throw out my back.
So Shufan will then go. Alright, if you think you got that handled, let's go. I gotta go figure out what everyone else is going to do.
Okay.
And she'll go back to the big group. It's like, alright, so the physician seems to have an understanding.
Well, that's something at least. And Joan will turn back to Fiersight and say, "So as I was saying, did the stars tell you anything else?"
Yeah, well, there's one thing that I can't quite make out. And she'll pull out a raggedy looking thing. Yeah, on one side it has markings, and she'll hold it up to the sky. You can see that light kind of filters through it. So
is this a piece of paper, a piece of fabric? Because all you said was a thing. Is this a piece of wood? Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I just.
Yeah, I know. Make a survival check.
Is it cotton, wood, metal, skin? Who knows? Gosh dang it!
Oh,
Joan can't figure it out. This is the 5th dice I've had to put in dice jail.
Right?
What was that?
Survival, right?
Yes.
4.
It looks like a combination of parchment and hide. Beyond that, you have no idea what this is. Like, she like holds it up to the sky and she's like, she like goes to point, but the thing like falls. There's a part of this that, within like a few days, she like tilts her head so that a horn will point to a particular spot. So this constellation right here comes out as appearing twice. One smaller than the other. I have no idea why.
Are you talking about stars?
Yes?
Oh no. Does this constellation signify anything particular?
I know we call it the dragon.
The physician's definitely going to leave the helm and come up to look.
Evelyn's running
Okay,
to the helm.
hang
Old man, the physician does like that old man like speed half run. Celine just books it the other way.
I book it. And I do the same thing I did last time. Once I grab the helm, I'm just like, and head on the helm, it's just like,
yeah, high or low?
Low.
Alright. So, Iseline, as you're running up, the helm light slightly spins. And the ship turns slightly.
She runs past me. I'm just gonna call back. Don't worry, it's on cruise control.
Hasn't been invented yet.
Why do you think this takes a crew of 20? So,
Actually, not even the physician's car should have had cruise control unless he specifically put it in, because it would be like another 30 years before it was invented. Anyway, side tangent. Sorry.
So yeah, physician, this draconic woman or teenager is like holding up the this weird thing like with two hands up to the light, and can see that there is light coming through it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a survival check. See if you can figure out what material this is.
Ooh, probably. That was pretty good.
People on top are having opposite rolls. What was that?
25.
35? Wow.
25.
25. It's still pretty good. So you're pretty sure that this is the hide of like some animal that's been specially treated so that it can be used as a thing to write on.
Okay.
You would probably say what? Something from the mammoth genus. apparently.
Yeah, mammoth is genus. Yeah. So, looking at it, did you just say you call it the dragon?
I mean, this constellation here, and she points with her horn to a set of stars, or a representation of stars.
Gotcha. So then, so that's a different one.
So, as you're looking at it, you kind of do see what she's getting at when she says that it looks like it's appearing twice. It does kind of look like it's, I suppose, like a double image. It's just one is smaller than the other, and it's specifically that set.
Boy, if only knowledge astronomy or something. Would nature? Would it fall under maybe nature?
Nature would work.
Huh?
Nature would work.
Dang, that's the third nat 19 I've rolled.
Wow.
Your dice want to talk to Aaron's dice? Sorry,
24.
So, you haven't been here this long, but you can definitely see a resemblance to a dragon, like at least as much as stars can look like a dragon. And you have seen that at night if you've ever looked at the evening sky on this world.
Yeah. Does it normally appear as though there are two sets?
No.
Can I think of anything that would explain why that would occur?
Roll either Arcana or Nature.
I'm gonna roll Arcana for that as well.
I'm gonna do probably nature. I mean, they're the same thing, so 15.
You can't really think of anything. Nothing logical.
I got a 19 for Arcana.
Well, so, Joan, you are going into the business of mage slaying, right?
That's what she was originally trained in, yeah.
So, this appears to be some kind of divination magic that this dragon doesn't quite understand just yet. So, actually, you're also not quite sure what it means. Make a wisdom check.
Wisdom. That's an 18.
All right. So,
I found a good die.
So you think that a good theory might be that there's two of something, or something's going to happen twice. Something that is going to be in pairs, whether that's an event or a thing. Kind of hard to tell since you're not familiar with this kind of divination magic.
Okay. Yeah, thinking with that, John will just let them say, "Have you ever seen something like this before, or heard of it?"
To me?
No, to Forsyth.
I have I ever heard of something like this happening before?
Hmm?
Honestly, I had a bit of a hard time with history, which I know her ladyship would be very angry that I admit that. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Ain't that the truth?
Can I hear the conversation from where I'm at the helm?
Yes.
I like history.
Um,
I was gonna say, as she says, like, can I do a history check to see if there's anything that comes to mind for me?
Wizards do divination, so yeah, that makes sense.
um,
I mean, Arthur's that okay for
Yes.
me to do as well?
Yes.
Okay. 14.
You're not quite sure because you're not sure if this is either a arcane use of divination or if it's a well, actually, uh, the physician hasn't said if it's a animal skin, so you're not sure where in arcane this would be beyond divination.
um, yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I haven't said anything out loud either, which is why I was gonna ask: Has Joan said anything out loud about what she's figured out?
And not really, no. It doesn't feel like much has been figured out. It's like, yes, two of them.
Uh,
Hmm.
um. So, because it doesn't seem like there's any logical explanation, could I do detect magic to see if there's any magic on this?
Yes, so you use detect magic. The hide is magical and emitting divination magic.
Oh, okay. Now I know. Well, this skin thing, this hide paper is magical. I can't say that I was very good at paying attention in divination courses. I was more for the neighboring planet, but
Well, hog swallow.
huh?
Hogwash or hog swallow, whatever the word they use over there is.
Don't judge. I don't judge you for your weird habits.
You can try and look at it if you want. I would just need somebody to come and take the wheel.
Shufen
Right.
will go up.
Shufen comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take the
I
helm.
don't have a feeling that. Okay, so Shufen grabbed Yoshiro when the physician put the throttle up. Where's Yoshiro now?
She's still
Like, has she
holding
put him back on deck? Is he just kind of like hanging out on her hip? Like, kid, mom holding a kid kind of image?
Is she strong enough to do that for a long time? No. She would have put him down, but still holding him by the hand.
Okay.
this kid's taking roaderish tendencies, and she knows it, so she's not letting that.
I was gonna say, as Shufen comes up to switch out with me, it's like it did drift a little bit. I'm not sure if we're going exactly the right direction that you had the physician pointed in. I tried to grab it as soon as I could. And maybe this means that we shouldn't have him on the helm if he's going to be so easily distracted that he'll just walk. But I don't know.
No,
You're more
I
of a
got
captain
this.
than I am.
I got this. She moves the helm a little bit.
Thank you. Okay, my dice love me now. I was gonna say, I'll walk over and I'm assuming an Arcana check, right?
Yes.
26.
26?
I rolled a nat 19, and my modifier for Arcana is a 7.
Wow. Alright, so.
I'm a wizard!
So,
You're a wizard.
wherever you heard this, this is a draconic kind of magic. Again, where you heard this, I have no idea. But,
Maybe it was somebody passing through the court at Swanbell, talking with my master. So, yeah.
But, so, given what you heard, and, the constellation of the dragon is indicating that there will be either two events happening or two of a thing happening. You're very sure that it's going to be two of a thing. And there's a difference in the size, is what you heard.
Okay, so with this, it's draconic magic, which makes sense. She'll kind of gesture to Virsa that she's holding it. But having the double of the dragon, it should be two events, but I'm pretty sure it's two of a thing. And because then the different sizes mean that those two of things will be different sizes. One larger, one smaller. There was somebody passed through the court at Swanbell at one point and had an interesting conversation with my teacher.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, wouldn't it make sense for just every kingdom to have like their own like divinity wizard or something to specifically try and look into future events to avoid disaster to the kingdom?
Like a court wizard?
Yeah.
Who my teacher was. I was the apprentice of the court wizard of Swanbell.
That you're reading through his notes, and that's something he divined maybe a couple weeks ago or something. I don't know.
He passed away before that, but yeah.
Iseline, make an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. 9. I like advantage. Investigation. Investigation. That is a 18.
Alright. That is good enough. Cliffhanger. I am going to call it there. I will DM you it because
Gotcha.
we don't exactly have a whisper thing.